So, you're dreaming of studying in the UK. That's an amazing goal. But, standing between you and that beautiful historic campus is one big hurdle: the student visa. It can look really complicated, but it honestly doesn't have to be. So in this explainer, we're going to map out the entire journey for you step by step and turn what seems like a complex process into a really clear path forward. Let's get right into it.
Okay, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the fun part, the dream. Then we'll dive deep into what is probably the biggest challenge, meeting the financial requirement. From there, we'll look at how you can actually secure your funding, walk through the application itself, and finally, we'll cover what you need to do to protect your student status once you've actually arrived in the UK.
All right, let's kick things off. Before we get buried in paperwork, let's just take a second to remember why we're even doing this. The whole idea of studying in the UK is so exciting, right? But that excitement needs a solid plan to get over that first big hurdle.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures that why. I mean, you're not just signing up for some classes, you're joining this incredible global community with students from over 150 countries. And honestly, this is the vision that's going to power you through all the boring paperwork.
So that's the dream. Awesome. But how do we actually make that a reality? The path can feel like a total maze. Our job here is to give you the map, starting with what is without a doubt the most critical piece of the entire application.
Which brings us right to Section 2, the financial requirement. And let me be real with you, this is the make or break part of your application. It is all about proving to the UK government that you have the money to fully support yourself while you're studying.
So what exactly is this financial requirement? Well, you can think of it like a promise that you're making to the UK Home Office. You're basically showing them, on paper, that you have the funds to cover your tuition and your day-to-day living costs, so you won't have to rely on any public support while you're there.
And the people who set all these rules? That's the UK Home Office. They're pretty much the gatekeepers here. Your entire application is about giving them exactly the evidence they're asking for in exactly the format they want. So understanding how they think is really the key to getting this right.
So what's the magic number you need to show? Let's break it down with this table. First, you take your entire first year's tuition fee. Then, you add your living costs. As you can see, for London, that's a set amount, £1,483 a month. You calculate that for up to 9 months, add it to your tuition, and bingo. That total is the exact amount you need to prove you have.
Okay, I need you to pay very close attention to this slide because this is where a lot of people mess up. It's the 28-day rule. The total amount of money we just calculated, it has to sit in your bank account, completely untouched, for 28 consecutive days. And the bank statement you use to prove it can't be more than 31 days old when you apply. This timing is non-negotiable, and it's a huge tripwire for so many applicants.
Phew, okay, that sounds like a ton of paperwork. But what if I told you there might be a shortcut? What if you didn't have to provide all those financial documents right away? Well, for some of you, that's actually the case. The answer is not always.
And this is because of something called differential arrangements. If you're a citizen of one of the countries you see here, like the US, Canada, Japan, or an EU country, the Home Office considers you low risk. This means you don't actually have to submit your financial evidence with your initial application. Now let me be super clear. You still absolutely must have the money and meet that 28-day rule. They can spot check you at any time. But not having to submit all the documents up front, that's a massive advantage.
So if you need to have all these funds ready to go, where can they come from? Well, in Section 3, we're going to look at the official pathways the Home Office will accept for securing your funding.
The Home Office is pretty specific about this, You've got 3 main options. The most common is just personal savings, either in your own bank account or your parents' account, though you'll need some extra paperwork for that. The second option is an official financial sponsor, like a government scholarship. And third, you can use an approved educational loan.
Now, for any students from the US who are thinking about using loans, this is a really critical detail. Not all loans are treated the same. As you can see on the left, US federal loans are officially recognized. All you typically need is a confirmation letter from the university. But for private loans over on the right, the rules are totally different. That money must be in your bank account and it must sit there for the full 28 days. That is a vital distinction to understand.
So if you're going the federal loan route, the process is pretty straightforward. As the slide shows, it's a simple 3-step dance. First, you complete the FAFSA. Second, you just shoot an email to your UK university to let them know you've done it. And third, they'll send you back a cost of attendance form. Once that's done, the whole process is officially in motion.
And here is a huge warning about timing. Your loan money, what they call the disbursement, it often won't actually hit your account until after your course starts. This means that you absolutely cannot use that loan money to pay for the visa application itself or the big immigration health surcharge. You need to have separate money set aside for those upfront fees.
Okay, so once your finances are all sorted out, you are ready for the main event, the application itself. In Section 4, we'll walk through the whole process, from getting your university offer all the way to that final approval.
The one thing that unlocks your entire visa application is your CAS. That's the Confirmation of Acceptance for Studies. Now, it's not a paper document, it's a unique digital reference number that your university gives you. This little code connects your application directly to all your course details in the Home Office system. Without your CAS, you literally can't even start the application.
From that point on, the path is pretty linear. Step 1, get that CAS number. Step 2, gather up all your documents. Step 3, fill out the official application form online. And the final step is booking your biometrics appointment, which is just where you'll go to provide your fingerprints and a digital photo. And here's a little pro tip on timing for you. Start early. The visa window actually opens a full 6 months before your course begins. There is zero advantage to waiting until the last minute. Trust me, give yourself plenty of time and avoid all that unnecessary stress.
And finally, Section 5. It's really easy to think that getting the visa is the finish line, but it's not. The moment you arrive in the UK, you have a whole new set of responsibilities to make sure you maintain your student status.
Think of these as the ground rules for your stay. You're required to report any new address, you have to strictly stick to the work hour limits on your visa, and it's always a good idea to keep digital copies of your passport and visa somewhere safe. But most importantly, your university has to be in the loop about any changes to your plans.
And here's why this stuff matters so much. Your university is your official sponsor. That means they have a legal duty to report you to the Home Office if you break the visa rules. The consequences can be really severe, so protecting your student status is 100% your responsibility. So there you have it, the whole journey, laid out from start to finish. The opportunity to get a world-class education in the UK is just immense, but getting there really does require careful planning and a serious attention to detail. We've given you the map, so the only question left is, are you ready for the adventure?